Introduction to Google Tools. Chapter 3, Google Analytics. Google Analytics allows you to see how people came upon your site, what they do while they're there, and basically make better decisions on improving your user experience. It collects data all the time, 24/7. You can even view data in real time. And the best news is, you can add Google Analytics very easily, simply by putting a snippet of code on every page. So how do we verify Google Analytics? First, you want to sign up for a Google Analytics account. Fill out all the information about your website, and once you get to the end of that process, you'll see the Google tracking code. All you have to do is take that tracking code, copy it, and paste it into every page on your website. Now, for many websites, this might be a tedious process, but the process for getting it on every page and automating that is going to be different for every site. For example, some sites might have an include file that appears on every page by default. You could put it there, and your tracking code would automatically be on every page. Or perhaps you run a website on a common CMS, like WordPress or Drupal or Joomla. There are plugins available that will let you put the Google Analytics tracking code on every page of your site, even if you're not technical. Let's take a look at the default dashboard. When you sign in to Google Analytics, assuming that you have already verified your site, you'll see something looks kind of like this when you sign in. There are a number of different widgets or boxes available, and each of them detail a different type of data. Some of the things that you'll see here include new visits, unique visits, visit map, browser statistics, for example, who's using Safari versus Internet Explorer versus Chrome or Firefox, visit length, meaning how long are people actually staying there, and bounce rate, which has to do with the percentage of people who leave your site without viewing any of the content. You can also take a look at revenue and goal completion if you've got those things set up, and we'll get to that later. You can create custom dashboards if you don't like this one. So if this layout doesn't really float your boat, you can always make your own. What you can actually measure with Google Analytics. You can take a look at changes in traffic patterns, which are called intelligence events. You can take a look at real-time traffic statistics, which basically shows what the visitors are doing right now on your site. Audience statistics, like area, demographics, and thanks to Google+, their interests and things like that. When you're logged into Google+ and do a search, the data that you've entered into Google+, having to do with your demographics and interests, becomes part of the data set of every website owner that has Google Analytics. Visitor acquisition. This has to do with how people actually found your site. Visitor behavior, so how people behave on your site, what pages did they visit, what do they click on, where do they come in, where do they leave, etc. And conversions. You can set up goals to track pretty much anything, downloads, clicks, sales, etc., and measure the overall effectiveness of your user interface. Intelligence events. One of the first things that you're going to see on the side menu of Google Analytics is an item called Intelligence Events. Changes over time can be seen here for a date range. Let me give you a couple examples. Let's say that I wanted to see the average visit duration and find out whether that had increased or decreased from January 1st to January 31st. I could set the date range for January 1st to January 31st in the top right-hand corner, and then view the statistics. We see that number 1 on the overview statistics, the average visit duration from January 1st to January 31st is already available in part of my summary. And we can see that during that time period, the average visit duration increased 26%, which is great. That means that perhaps the site has become a little bit more effective because people are staying on there longer than before. Real-time statistics. Real-time statistics are especially useful if you have a high-traffic website and you need to understand what visitors are actually doing at a given time of the day. You can take a look at the page views, where they come from, how they found your site, and even the content that they're looking at. So you can pretty much see everything that they're seeing, except for their street address and who they are. Audience. In the Audience tab, you can get an idea for demographics and interests, as well as geolocation, behavior, browser, operating system, device, and more. You can take a look at how people flow from page to page. Are they actually clicking the way that you thought that they did? You can find all that and more in the Audience section. Acquisition. Traffic types. How do people find your site? Campaigns and keywords. Are those things driving traffic, or is it mainly direct traffic, organic search, and that sort of thing? Behavior. Of course, a webmaster will be interested to know how people are behaving on their site. Where are they dropping off? Where are they losing their attention? How are they coming in? What main landing pages are most effective for sending people into other places on the site? Are people using the site search? What are they searching for? You can also take a look at event tracking here. Now, this does have a little bit of extra setup, but it's totally worth it because you can get very, very granular with event tracking. You can also take a look at AdSense pages, refers, and exits. Conversions. You can track specific events that you define yourself, such as purchases, downloads, etc. And this is the increased granularity level that we were talking about with event tracking. Luckily, Google has improved the ease of use for its event tracking. It used to be that you had to pretty much know JavaScript in order to make event tracking work, but now there's a wizard to help you set up goals. So click on the conversions in the left-hand menu of Google Analytics, and you'll see the goal setup wizard. Pretty much all you have to do at this point is fill in the blanks, hit next step, and follow the instructions that Google gives you in order to start tracking for a particular event, be it ticket sales, online registration, purchases, donations, and more. In conclusion, once you get started with Google Analytics, the features are practically limitless. You can take a look at visitor issue diagnostics, look at marketing method effectiveness testing, you can set and track goals, and get intelligence reports. And of course, these are just some of the powerful tools that give you a comprehensive insight into your web performance. I highly recommend that you open up a Google Analytics account and play with it yourself. You're going to find even more details than we are able to cover in just this presentation, and you'll also gain a better understanding of how you can use that specific data to improve the marketing strategy on your own website.